Okay, so now we're going to keep going through our little series of videos. And now we're going to look at really, I think, the one program, the one function, the one app, if you want to call it that, that changes Google Apps for education. That makes it a total game changer as far as what it offers that Microsoft Office doesn't, and that's Forms. So if we go into New, we go over to More, and we go to Google Forms. This is what it looks like. There's a new version that's coming out. Don't worry about that for right now. This is Google Forms. This is what allows you to create those surveys or those forms that you see that are online. I've sent them out to you. You've seen them a bunch of times. And it's a great way to collect data, to collect opinions, to get information, especially if you have a staff. You know, my staff is well over 120, 130 people, and sometimes to get data and then to be able to collate that data is really difficult, but in this way, very easy. First thing, when you're creating your forms, this is an interesting bar up here. This is up here. Most of these things are here because we're using within the TCDSB environment. The first one is interesting and can be powerful, but just keep in mind, require Toronto Catholic District School Board login to view this form. What this means is this protects it so that no one outside of the TCDSB can see it. What it also means, though, is that someone has to be signed into their account. In the early incarnations now, I would suggest to unclick that. Why? Because a lot of your staff may not be on, and what they'll see is if they try to open that form, they'll say that you need to sign in, and they may not be able to do that yet. It's a good idea to be able to do it eventually. That means it'll be protected. And what you could also do is automatically collect the respondents' usernames. That could be really good. But for right now, we're going to unclick that because we want people to be able to view this, whoever you send it to, essentially. So as we go through here, you can manipulate all of these fields, and you can give it a name. So we're going to call this testing forms. You can give a description. This is for testing purposes only. And now you can put as many questions as you want. When you registered for today, or when you gave me some of that little information in preparation for today, this is what I used. Very, very simple. You can create many different types of questions. Text questions, which is really if you're going to do your name, let's do that one. So you could say, please indicate your name. I would preface that by saying, ask for first and last name separately, because people do it in different formats. And if you want to be able to properly organize and collate that data, please indicate your first name. That's a text, which shows you the text box here. If you were to put, for instance, paragraph text, you'll notice it's much longer. You don't need that for this. Text. This can say a required question, which means someone can't submit the form unless they answer that question. Really good idea. Figure out how you're going to use that, but if it's something for name or email address, absolutely. And then you just hit done. And there you have a question. Now I can add an item. What do I want to add? I can add different types of questions, are all on here, but I could also add images, videos. So again, I could add a video. Let's just say I wanted to use that same one, that same video. I'm going to go to that, copy that URL. I'm going to put that in here. That video will now appear in here, and I can resize it to make it big on my form. Done. So now it's there. And now I can add an item. I can add a paragraph. So it could say, please watch the video above. Oh my goodness, sorry. And share your thoughts on how you might rethink your own classroom. Goodness gracious. It's a paragraph. It'll allow them to see it. It'll allow them lots of room to answer. Done. You could also say, let's add another item. Let's add a scale. You could say here, please rate this video on a scale from 1 to 5. Let's just say, or it's all done on 1 to 10. I'm going to go here. I'm going to change my scale from 1 to 10, and I'm going to label it. So 1 would be unwatchable, and 10 would be changed my life. That's a required question. Done. So you've got that scale. What does it look like? You can go into all sorts of different things. Now let's see what that looks like. Now you go up here to the view live form. It's important that it says live because remember, this is going to be live on the internet. So we click that. Now here's what your form looks like. There it is. This is what you would send this link up here to anybody you want to watch it. You can shorten that link if you want. They would fill it out. So I'm just going to fill this out. Mike, I can watch the video right in here. It plays right in the form. How fantastic. You don't have to send somebody to a form. It's right in there. I liked the way the student voice was incorporated into design. Good. I would say, I don't know if it changed my life, but it was an 8. These are all the questions. Now I'm going to submit it. Thank you for your submission. Now, what does it do with that information? So let's go back here. You'll notice now in my form where I'm creating it, responses are up here. Now it says responses 1. So I can go to view responses. And what it does initially is it creates this is a sheet or a Excel file essentially with all your information, what I filled out. Notice what we did here. I can take this and I can wrap this text so we can see all the information. And I'm going to do the same with that. And this is interesting, timestamp. This is one of the great parts about it is it'll tell you exactly to the second when I submitted it. So for instance, if a teacher was to use this and they had a deadline for when they were going to allow acceptances, they would say, oh, too late, first come, first serve, if you have something like that. If you're putting it out there and saying, I have a PD opportunity, here's this information, sign up for it, the first 8 people who sign up for it get to go, or whatever you want to do, it'll list it in order. So there's a timestamp. It's a great idea. Here's my information, Mike, please watch the video. Here's what I thought about it. Here's my score from 1 to 10. It aggregates all that information for you. I'm going to go to the live form again. I'm going to do a different one. I'm going to put Wetzel as my first name. I hated every minute of it. And I'm going to say 2. This is a different submission, just so we have more. So now if you go back, and you'll notice here, look at what just happened. I didn't touch anything. This is that form. It's live. This is my collection of my answers. Now, if I go up to responses, I can see a summary of responses too. So summary of responses would list it this way. Please indicate your first name. It'll list everybody who did it. It will list the answers. I hated every minute of it. I like the way the student voice was incorporated in design. So if you're just looking for feedback, general feedback, it's even got it here. How many people, it puts it in a graph for me. Please rate this video on a scale of 1 to 10. So 1 person did 8, 1 person said 2. It gives you the frequency down here of that, which is great. Number of daily responses, so how many per day. It lists it in many different ways, and it's got some really cool analytics in it. So that's just another way to collect that data and what it does with it. You can change the themes, so you can, pretty easily change that theme. So now all of a sudden it's got different themes that are there that you can download. You can customize it yourself and find different ones and customize it to different backgrounds and things like that and form your own. You can make it anything you want. The beauty of it is that it does collect these things for you. You can put videos in there, you can put pictures in there, but it collects all that data that you want to do. How have I used it before? I actually use it for, send it out to all of my students in August. Anybody who wants to a course change request, after summer school, after new things, we send this out. They get all that information. Guidance gets that ahead of time. They can change it out. I send it to my staff as far as directory, so that if they have changes in their phone numbers or addresses, we collect it that way. I collected many different things, many different examples. of how it's used. I use it all the time, and it's great for getting that, gathering it together, and having it all placed in one place. You can use SurveyMonkey or those sorts of things, but then the results go somewhere else. These are all contained within that one folder. So if I go back to my testing, now I have my testing forms. This is my actual form, and here's the responses. So it's all there. Okay, it's all in one spot. It's all in the folder in which I created it to. So I don't have to go to another site to find this information. It's all in one spot. Really a game changer as far as I'm